I'm dedicated for as long as I've got left to continue doing whatever it is I can manage to do at the time. I've met these two guys from, you know, just seeking into stuff, and that's great. You know, I've learned a lot from other people as well, which is always appreciated. It's a collective effort, I think.
Yeah.
It's done at an individual level.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's been an interesting journey of connecting dots for me. And, you know, I've worked up all the way, I guess, from, you know, the 101 stuff and all the way up. And now it's just like, you know, you like you were saying, like, you know some certain things, and I just feel like I know that one thing just keeps leading to another on purpose. And, you know, like you were discussing, I think, Maurice Cotterell, and I was just happened to be watching some of his stuff like last week, and I heard you talking about it in one of your interviews, and I was like, you know, I just keep connecting more and more dots, and you were talking about how the sun is the was it primary charge, and then it releases the secondary charge, and all this, you know, kind of making sense of, like, you know, the physics world of it all, and so it's been really fascinating for me.
Great, yeah. This is why I say to people, try and listen to as many radio shows and presentations that I've done, because in there I've given the references to where I got all this stuff. So people keep writing to me, oh, well, where is this and where is that? Well, I've published it all. Just watch them all. You know, I would say to people, what's the most important subject that there can be? What is the most important subject that there can possibly be? What could be more important than light and syncretism? Light is all there is, and syncretism is all we need to do. Find the interrelatedness between all things. Divide and conquer and darkness is absolutely the complete opposite, and that's what everybody else is still offering, because they're experts in one thing or experts in two things, and they're dishing out their truth from the effectual plane. So that's why I say to people, the more time you give to syncretism daily, the more you will be the God flying and soaring through the heavens. No use, you know, just avoiding it. I find people, you know, they don't carry through with something. You know, like why would you just watch, say, one video on syncretism when there's 40 there for the offering, right, and they've all got different information on it. Why would you stop? I can't stop. I'm always researching. I'm always trying to learn more and add more to my collection. So where else to go? Syncretism's there. That's their subject.
Right. Actually, I just realized, I think it kind of, it explains for why we long to just keep connecting dots.
Yeah, true. Well, because we know that we will remember ourselves. We will remember all the missing bits. We're all living in the land of forgetfulness. It's Macrobius the Great, in his commentary on Scipio's dream, he said that the philosophers have always known that some drink more cup of forgetfulness than others. So that we all drank from that cup of oblivion as we descended into incarnation. Now it's time to remember.
Yeah. Can't say anything else that really grabs me, to be honest. Nothing else out there in this old world apart from this.
No, there's nothing. There's nothing, man. Even if you wish to go to the circuses and the plays and the shows that the great astrologers wore, do not go there. Do not do those things. Even if you did get fleeting pleasure and everything, and it was a distraction and whatever, it does not compare with all of this that we've got.
Nowhere near. Yeah, nowhere near. Don't even come into. No.
There's nothing that compares. I've got a friend who may want to on the call.
Yeah, you are a little bit broken
Is
up,
that right?
Santos. Yeah, fine, this group's for anyone. There's,
Oh, okay.
there's no limitations on who can join.
Okay, I'll grab him and see if he wants to join up. This is a guy who does a lot of videos on YouTube. His name is Charles.
Say that again, sorry, Santos?
He does a lot of truth videos on YouTube. That's his name. Alright, he's coming on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You there, Charles?
I think he was there. He drops out again.
Okay.
You there, Charles?
Hey, how are you, Santos? How are you?
Good, mate. Very good. Good to see you there.
Oh, it's good. It's good to hear your voice live and actually get the chance to talk with you, man. It's
yeah, great, brother. Hey, I haven't seen any of your videos online lately. Have you stopped?
Well, right now there's a lot of happening on my end, which I kind of have to be smart in the moves that I make, right? Because I got one of my uncles is actually in Switzerland right now, working some big financial deal or something, and right now, like, my mom she's going to be helping me financially, and so I want to start making videos and music, and get documentaries out and start working with with you if you're interested. There's Mark Basile that I'm interested in working with as well. There's a lot of people I want to invest in, but you're actually one of the you're actually top of my list. And I want to, help you out whichever way I can, with energy, with my time, my passion, and so on. So that's most importantly than the money, right? So
good. Please do, because the other guys on the call, they also have the same intention. So we can, focus some attention on syncretism and bringing it to the world. Please say hello to Peter.
Hi, Charles. How you doing, PJ? Yeah.
Hey, hi, how are you?
Nice. Yeah, it's good to meet you.
It's Peter? Is that what I heard right?
No, PJ. The letter P, letter J.
Alright, PJ.
It's a pretty abbreviation for Paul Joseph.
Paul Joseph, alright.
Yeah.
That's funny, my uncle's name is Paul. So I'll remember that.
Yeah. Hey, Charles.
I heard another voice there.
Yeah, hi. I'm Shaz.
Chaz?
Yep.
Nice to meet you, Shaz.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Charles.
Nice to meet you too, Santos.
Yeah. We've got Shaz from Canada. Myself, I'm from England. Andy, who's in the call as well, he's from Southern England.
Okay, nice. All over the world. Eh? So a few from Canada and Australia, and we got. You said Southern England?
Yeah.
All right. I'm actually English descent as well. My father, his mother's a Lucas from near Liverpool. So I got British descent.
All right.
Well, actually, you don't want to say British. You want to say English, because English is land. Britain is the maritime Roman government there.
That's right. From Brighton. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
English is actually Angleland.
Angle, yeah.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
You guys, you got to understand this. That English is one of the greatest languages ever. Okay, now it's always been around. Always did it say, but the Romans and the French and the Anglo-Saxons and they did this to it and all. And it's always been around. English is root language. It's a mixture of. Yes, it is. It's a root language. It's absolutely, totally, purely, 100% connected to light. That's why I've always been saying in my presentations, English is the universal language right now, appropriately, for a very good reason. Because the more people who come to speak English, the more people will have syncretism. It's the best syncretism language. I've done it, you've seen me, I've done it in Spanish, I've done it in Italian, I've done it in Portuguese, I could do it in a couple of other languages. I always include Spanish words, in Japanese, words in my presentation too, because my wife's Japanese, so I've got studied that profoundly, but I'm not really good at it yet. but English, there's nothing like English. It is the language of anglers, guys. It's a mixture of root and van, V-A-N, which comes from Finland. The Finnish have a story. It's called the Bock Saga. Have you heard of the Bock Saga?
Bock, so B-A-K or B-O-K or
B-O-K.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Punch in Bock Saga, S-A-G-A, Bock Saga, and the name Jim Chestnut. Jim Chestnut is the best guy to explain the Finnish Bock Saga. Okay? So Jim Chestnut. And he explains many times that English is root and van. It's a mixture. So, and those are the two original languages of this planet, guys.
Wow, that's
Don't ever diminish English just because we have been taught to speak the legalese version of it.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Oh,
Everything
man.
that is beautiful also has its equal and opposite ugly side. Okay?
absolutely.
Because beauty is not about good. Good is above both beautiful and evil. Good is the white magnetic light. Beautiful is the electrical positive and negative red and blue light. So it has beautiful and it has evil. So all of these creator gods like Jesus, Vishnu, Satan, Lucifer, all the named gods, they are beautiful.
Yeah.
But they're not good. They are half good and half evil. But they are called, this God is called the beautiful God. Whereas the good God, that one does nothing. It's just goodness. It's white light. It doesn't do any work in the universe. Electricity does all the work. And this is where churchgoers, left-brained people, unascended people, they're all still worshipping that God of false, the beautiful God. They're not worshipping the good God. This is why Jesus says, do not call me good, for only one in the heavens, the Father, is good.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
There's a lot of, everything that you share, the way you pronounce it, you say it's just got such a, it makes so much sense. It resonates, that's for sure.
Yeah, good man. Yeah, because,
Is that the same scripture? Is that the one where it says, do not call anyone on earth your father, for one is your father, the heavenly one?
Exactly.
From the NWT, of course, but, yeah.
Yeah, well, see, magnetism, which is the cause of all things, electricity, which is the effect of magnetism. These are the two gods. We must understand, when people say, oh, there's only one God, yes, there is only one God in the magnetic world, but in the electrical world, there's everything that is created is God. Everything that has a name, a word, is a God. The word of God is the word. We are speaking, we are gods, because we are speaking. You see, your vocal cords, that's the Son of God. What's below the vocal cord? The larynx, that's God the Father, and the lungs is God the Mother, Isis. So here we are speaking, and we are speaking through the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is your voice. It creates. We are creators. So it doesn't matter whether we worship something below us or something above us. It's all God, the electrical God of good and evil. It's beautiful. See, we are beautiful, but we are good and evil. We're not just good. Not here, not in the electrical world, because it vibrates. So if there's a vibration, it has polarity. So whatever is so good, like the English language, the best language for syncretism, is also the worst language because it will give you legalese and put you in jail. More people are in jail in the English-speaking world than any other language. That's because...
Is that right?
Legalese. Oh, for sure, man.
Wow.
Yeah. The English language is the best language for putting people in jail. It's the language itself. And that's because it's not the worst, because it's the best language.
Yeah, well, it feels universal in a way when you think about it, with all the similar sounding vocals or words and vibrations. It's got that, I don't know, universal feel, I guess. I don't know, a lot of people are more gravitated to speak that language than other language, I find.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, well, even I speak French, which is not the real kind of French that you would hear from Paris or France, places like that, or even Switzerland, but it's a different kind of French, and we speak English and French. We even have the same, we go Fringlish, we speak Fringlish. So, yeah, so we speak, like, French words and English words put together, and like, a lot of people that actually speak only French or English listen to us and like, you guys are speaking French and English at the same time? It's like, yeah. Sorry for the confusion there, but that's what we do.
It's a mix. A mix is always good.
Yeah, for sure. It gives you a good idea of different languages, and the more I look into like words and etymology and all that stuff, I'm like, wow, like it's just really fascinating to see all the different words and where they come from and how everything comes together quite a bit. Like you're talking about syncretism and all that. It's true. It's everything kind of mixes in together. It's all one and the same. You can't even take it apart from each other if you really pay attention,
Well, my other half's from China, and I got interested in the pinyin, for Mandarin. You've heard of pinyin?
Yeah, I heard Mandarin, but not pinyin.
Pinyin is just the writing form of the way of speaking it in English.
Okay.
Maybe Santos can
No, I can't elaborate because I didn't know about this. So you're talking about a Latin alphabet version of Chinese, right?
Well, languages is my weakest point, Santos, to be honest with you, so I struggle getting my head around any of it, to be honest with you. So I don't really want to, I can only speculate on my opinions, but yeah, it's interesting stuff anyway.
So
because to me, all these writing languages like Arabic and Chinese, and then you've got English. Now English to me appears as if it's a robotic display of letters. Like it's got something about it, not in a negative way or a positive way really. It just stands out different from the rest.
It's structured like kind of scientifically.
In a robotic way, so everyone can grasp it. It just looks that way. It looks like robotic writing.
Yeah. It was interesting. We were just talking earlier about Finland being kind of like an odd language, these Finno-Ugric languages, and they're not related to Latin or anything else. And Santos just said something about how English is actually a very old language, and this is new information to me. And I heard somewhere someone said that Finland, the language was actually related to Old Sumerian. Have you guys ever heard something like that?
When you look at language, like based what I've kind of looked at, listening to many different people, is Sumeria's got quite a bit of history with, I guess, the phonetics and all that stuff, right? Like it's pretty much the cradle of civilization that we seem to think, or the mainstream, or I guess like widely believed, right? I don't really see how like Arabic or like the Sumerian, ancient American, and all that kind of stuff, they do have quite a bit of similarities, but with the English, I try to see it, and I don't see much of it coming together. And my buddy's actually, my roommate, he's Lebanese, and he speaks Arabic, and sometimes I find it very, very hard to bring it together because I speak French and English. So I don't know if that's the question you were asking, or if that's what you were trying to elaborate on.
I guess maybe I was speaking more in terms of antiquity, but yeah, I follow what you're saying.
Okay. I'm sorry, it's kind of chopping up here, so sometimes I miss some words there, so maybe I'm not getting on the same...
Yeah, it could be.
I want to see something here. I'm trying to...
but Sumerian definitely is connected to Finnish because they're all connected. This is the thing, you see. There's only one language, and that is the language of light. The language that is on the ecliptic, on the sine wave, because all letters are producing light in some way. Okay, A that is producing ethereal light. Okay? B, that is producing, that's a percussive kind of a sound, because you cannot prolong the B. So it's producing a beginning kind of light. That's why a lot of words that have to do with beginning and would start with B. You know, born, birth, beginning, etc., etc. And the letter S, that is producing a fiery light. The sound of fire. So is the letter F. That's why it has to do with fire, right?
It's actually elemental, right? It's like from the elements in our environment, what we see and perceive or hear certain things, do certain sounds, we've incorporated into the language like that we make ourselves to say, oh well, to describe this sound or this image or so on, right? Is that what...
Exactly.
Okay.
Spot on. The consonants and the vowels are elements. Everything is elements. It's all elementary. Everything. Every single, even when the Bible talks about the children of Israel, the children of Israel are the elements. Gold, zinc, because everything vibrates and everything is elementary. And which comes from light. So it's the whole universe is made of elements, what we call elements. The mind of El. Who is El? Light.
Yeah. Electricity.
God. Yeah. Element. So the mind of God is in all the elements, because that's what element means, the mind of God. Yeah, it will always have that vibration. It always has that numeric value. So you could say that both were right so hard that everything is alpha, and Pythagoras that everything is number, because gematria marries the two. So everything is gematria. You guys there?
Yeah, you broke up a bit there. I don't know if everyone else heard clearly, but I was trying to get the most out of it.
Yeah, likewise.
All right.
Yeah.
But I was hearing what you were saying. What you were saying is essentially everything comes down to numbers, and you can actually, measure the sound, the vibration, the frequency, essentially in the words or the sounds that you pronounce. And so you're talking about Phi or Fibonacci, and also Pythagoras, which are explaining the sound. And you can actually relate to how you can, I guess, measure it. Everything is measured, right? I mean, if you look at our universe, everything can kind of be measured, either through our perception or through tools of perception to be able to show, like, well, hey, do we all agree that this is what it is, and this is what we see, and this is what it is, and always will be? Yeah, okay, great. Let's adapt that, that tool, right? So that's what I got out of what you're sharing, is that, how to be able to manifest that more from what we see from our environment, and how to be able to use it and build it, right? Like, you have to be able to create, which it said we're here to create. We're all here to create, so it's good to know what tools we need and how to use them, and if they're actually accurate in what we want to create, or if we're in tune with life, right? And the best way is communication. Communication is essential, especially if we're all going to work together, right?
Yep.
Well, it's funny, like, I'm just listening to all everything you say. I listen to a lot of your presentations, and it's quite a lot of stuff. It's mind-blowing, and just listening to you actually share a little bit in person, actually, I feel more of the resonance and more of the substantial amount of truth in what you're sharing, because I study quite a bit of stuff, and I like to be universal in the sense that I like to pick and go everywhere. I like to even go to places where people are really absurd and crazy and illogical with their way of doing things, and try to make how they kind of get things together and put it all together, and you're like, wow, like, talk syncretism, you think about everything coming together. Like, I look at my life, and things tend to just come a certain way, and certain things gravitate, and based on, like, the vibrations you set forth, and what you actually put forth, to an environment, tends to gravitate all that same kind of energy. It's like what you give out, you get, and, as above is so below, like you're saying, and also, like, it's just, like, having a full control over your environment in the sense of, like, being aware of what you're putting out there, and the vibrations, and what you speak, and the words you say, and your intentions behind it, and knowing the sciences of the alphabet, and knowing the science behind gematria and geology and all these things to actually bring it all together to know yourself. Essentially, that's what it comes down to. Once you know all that, you know yourself, you know all these things, it's so easier to manifest into this reality and bring forth the things you want and try to, if you have your heart's intent is to see peace in the world and make it a beautiful place and where everyone's harmonizing, then you can make it happen. Just know your tools, know what is available to you, how it works and how it functions, and you'll make it happen. So I think the people in this world that are, doing the bad stuff, they know this stuff, really clearly. And the ones that, are good, they're just kind of confused, but we're slowly waking up to certain things, and it's wow, it's just magical.
It goes back to, it's like trying to make Cain and Abel, work in harmony without changing what they actually are.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you have to challenge each other, right? Like it's up to challenge. It's like if you give.
It'd be boring if it weren't like that.
What was that?
I said it'd be very boring if it wasn't like that.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm sure there's like a way, doing it where everyone kind of benefits. Everyone's able to kind of say like, this is a challenge, yes, but we don't have to be extreme here in our decisions where people are not really having a good time and we're having a great time, and that to me is like, I know there's a good exchange, but there's got to be a balance within that where you challenge each other in a healthy way, in a more productive, harmonious, and creative and beautiful way, where you have this, the little glimpse of, like you say, the evil, which is not necessarily bad, but it is essential. It's like man and woman come together. Well, the man is, he could be tough, he could be, rough around the edges and logical and stern and and whatever, which is, the intellect side. And the woman, well, she's emotionally more, So it's not necessarily that, the guy is bad and the woman is too weak in her emotions. It's just, well, you bring them together and there you go.
Yeah, it's like a taste. You've got different tastes, but they're all still the same taste. You know what I mean? It's still a taste.
Yeah.
It might taste sour, but it's whatever fits for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's balance.
All the cells in his brain fire differently.
That's true. And that's what makes it beautiful, right? It's like it's that infinite possibility of all that could be, will be and will manifest, and it's never going to stop. It's always going to have new things as you go. Everything is never the same. It's always, magnificent in that sense.
That's the exploration of consciousness.
Yeah.
It's continuous. I don't think it'll ever stop.
That's right, exactly. I talk with a lot of my family here and friends, and I find a lot of people are just stop. Like they're not really trying to grow, and there's a lot. I see them, they're self-destructive in a lot of senses. It's like one of my friends, they just told me today, said he's smoking a cigarette. I said, "Well, he's suicidal." And he looked at me and he's like, "Why you say I'm suicidal?" I said, "Well, he's smoking a cigarette." He's like, "Well, I'm not suicidal. I'm smoking a cigarette." I'm like, "Well, for sure you are, because it's bad for you. It's really detrimental to your health, and so here you are smoking a cigarette." And so I'm asking, "Why are you suicidal?" So he's like, "Never looked at it that way." And it's true. It's like, why are we, some of us not really in tune with this stuff of like wanting to continually explore and why are we doing the things that are going against us and not really helping us flourish in the right way? Why would we do that? Go towards exploring and not stopping and exploring all the different possibilities out there and be open and not be fearful of expressing.
Well, that's the answer to why God permits suffering, because if there were no death, then that'd be the greatest torture of all.
Yeah, I guess so. It's true when you think about it. You need that Christ. You need that.
You need the consciousness to renew every now and again.
Yeah.
Give it another chance.
That's true. Like kind of like reboot.
or recycle, whichever word you want to use.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'm always fascinated with this life. I give it thanks and appreciation because it's to me, it's like wow. Like the fact that I'm part of this and I get to experience the things I've experienced, and it's like wow. If ever whoever created this, if ever get to meet that, it's like you're the man or you're the woman or whatever. It's just It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, you don't need to test anyone, you just need to test yourself. Just push yourself to do whatever it takes.
That's right.
Don't have a plan, don't have a structure. Just go with the flow.
Yeah,
that's my path.
Yeah, right. Eh? How's it working out for you so far? Is it pretty good?
Well, I'm on a channel with like-minded people, so I think I've achieved something.
Nice.
In comparison to the start of things.
Yeah. No, it's good to see results when you're doing something and you feel it and you feel good about what you're doing, the decisions you're making, and you feel like you're on the right path and you know it. Not that you believe it and you know it.
Well, it takes away the loneliness, that's the true loneliness.
Yeah. Well, you gotta be one with yourself.
Not the physical or emotional, it's the conscious loneliness that I'm not particularly fond of.
No, eh? Sometimes, I don't know, like if you would mean it in the same sense as lonely consciousness, where you're just really alone with all, your mind, and just kind of shut off from your environment, the physical reality, and letting yourself take you off, or is that what you mean, or?
No, just talking with the people, like-minded people, and opposed to being on your own and not really pushing yourself out there to talk about this stuff, because many people know so much, but they just don't let it out.
That's right. Yeah. Like you feel like they're resistant, eh?
Yeah, self-resisting.
Yeah.
Or they're still waiting for something.
Yeah, maybe it's not the time.
I know it's interesting. I was watching one of Santos's videos earlier, and he mentioned that I think he said he started waking up in around 2007. And we were saying, we looked back at ourselves and going, I think that was close to the same time I started waking up to some stuff and, started making like lifestyle changes and, food choices and, I just started paying attention to a lot more things.
It's true. When you think about it, for me, it's like, 2007, around that time. When you think about it.
Yeah, fresh eyes.
Well, I read a book called Natural Cures I Don't Want You to Know About by Kevin Trudeau.
Oh, yeah. I have that book.
Yeah, and that was like pretty much one of the first things I kind of like, whoa.
That's right.
Because it's just about the food and pharmacy, right?
Some out of the box material information.
Yeah. It's mind blowing, and I don't know if you guys ever heard of neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, and neurofeedback.
No.
My aunt, she's essentially that's what she does. Like NLP is essentially a way, like a psychological way to help people break through their fears and not, like some people have like drug addictions, depression, things like that. It kind of helps you break through it, like to be able to accept certain things and be able to, eliminate those barriers that stop you from moving forward, And so, back in the day, my aunt wanted to use me as a guinea pig for this. So I went to Kelowna, which is in BC, a beautiful place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like wow. Like it's Canadian paradise essentially.
Yeah.
And so she went to work and started telling me a little bit more about what it's all about. And she was explaining it. It's about both brains, like both sides of your brains, like both hemispheres. It's helping them harmonize as compared to conflict. And so I started noticing the differences in like how I used to think. I used to wake up every day fighting all the time with my thoughts. It was always like, oh, I'll do this. No, don't do that. And it was always back and forth. It was a struggle for me to go to work or get inspired to do anything. Like, it was always back and forth like that. And doing all this, neurofeedback actually helped me a lot. And not only like was I doing the neurofeedback, but I was also doing meditation and also learning, martial arts and things like that. And I started feeling a lot better. And when I came back to Ottawa, like the way I felt and how I took on the world and saw things was like some kind of filter came off, and I was able to see certain things. And that's when I started feeling like, hey, like this world, there's more to it than what I've been told, and what's happening on television. Everything just seems unreal almost. And so as much as it helped me at the beginning, I fell into a big depression after that, and started like looking more into things and being alone with myself, and then started to establish that relationship with me and knowing myself and knowing my strengths and weaknesses, and try to master who I was. Because I was saying, hey, like, I haven't been successful at all in this world. It sucks. It's like it's always trying to keep you down. Everyone's trying to compete with me. I don't want to compete with no one. I just want to help everyone else, but everyone's trying to get me. These are all the feelings I was getting, and so finally, when you come to the realization of deep depression, you tend to wake up, and you come out of it, and then you start seeing, and you start thriving and saying, okay, well, I got to make a decision now. Is either I keep, going along and trying to make it in this mad world in the sense of keeping myself ignorant, or I try to change things for myself. And the more I do that, the more things are going to become better, and I'll have better impact on my environment, and such as, talking about knowing the tools and getting to know how everything works, so therefore you can manifest better and, make sense of everything and feel good, harmonize, and be good in life.
Right.
It's almost as if it's some sort of trance. And what I've noticed is the biggest effect that has on you is missing time. You don't realise how much time has elapsed while you've been in this depression. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Sometimes it can calm people down and put them in a direction they wouldn't normally have gone in. And in that sense, it could be a good thing, So maybe it's something probably not as unnatural as people tend to look at it. It's the lack of support while you're going through it, because you can't really acknowledge it yourself. You're not really aware. You need someone to tell you that you don't seem to be your normal self.
Well, I feel that we have many multiple personalities within ourselves that want to express themselves. I don't know if you guys feel that, but sometimes I got other personalities when I'm playing music and stuff. I feel like there's other personalities that are trying to talk to me or trying to express things or just communicate or just be able to have the chance to express themselves. It's this feeling, and sometimes I'm in control, and sometimes it feels like some other force or some other energy is kind of being shared.
This is how I see it. I see it as a way to endure the road trip ahead. It's to slow you down because it knows you've got a lot to take in. So, I got depressed, and you're talking about yourself, and now we've come out of it, and I think we've all can vouch for that. We can all say, yeah, we share that in common. So maybe it's something to slow your mind down, so you can eventually, get to be able to take all this information in. But if you went steamrolling into it, then it could send you off a cliff edge.
That's true. Always good to take a time to stop and reflect. See.
Well, I've got stuck into a book called The Neptune File by Tom Standage. It's Planet Detectives and the Discovery of Worlds Unseen. And I'm halfway through it now, and it's fascinating getting inside the minds of the people who named these planets from Greek language and the battle that took place just by picking a name.
Well, people's psychology are always a form of entertainment. It's their you look at the movies and all that kind of stuff and books, and it's like a different psychology. You're like, ooh, get lost in here. Some places you don't want to get lost in.
Yeah.
But in some places, oh my God, it's so beautiful. You're like, wow, how did they think of this?
But it's interesting. It's interesting how they was aware of the things that people struggle to deny today. Back then, as far back as then. Yeah. I mean, you hear about the work, but if you never take time to actually look into a particular person and the stuff that they carried out, in terms of research, like, for example, Galileo just looking into his stuff, it's a journey on its own. And then you look into people like, I don't know, just King James in his time here. But everybody's got their own journey, the ways that you end up getting on that road, I can't explain. What is it? What got me doing what I'm doing today? Because I've got quite low self-esteem, to be honest. So my confidence is not. I won't really say I've got much confidence. So I don't feel as if it's me who's doing the things I'm doing. Is that right?
Well, you don't forget it's society's kind of system that creates the group, the herd mentality.
Yeah,
you won't feel that comfort or confidence until you belong in this particular group or label, you know. So once you bust away from that, and you know
But even though it can bring a strain on you, you refuse to let it go.
Yeah, well, some people for sure.
Hey guys, sorry, PJ.
Andy?
I'm sorry, man. Who's on here?
Have you nodded off?
I'm sorry.
Did you go and see a spaceship, Andy, for an hour? To get away?
I just realised I'm in the front room and, yeah, I'm absolutely frozen. That's woke me up. I thought I was already, on my way. But anyway, good evening to whoever's. I do apologise. Oh, what's the time? Oh my word. So,
3 a.m.
Oh my god. So I do apologise.
It's whatever time you want it to be, Andy.
I don't care about time. What is it? What's time? What is it? Have you got time? Have I got time? Has anybody got any time? Does time exist? I don't know. Who wants time? I don't know. I wake up when I wake up, and I go to bed when I go to bed. I eat when I eat, and that's it. That's it. I don't. I threw the clocks away. 2006, 2007, when I done my last job. I never liked jobs. I hate jobs. I've never liked having a job in my life. But I admitted it. I'm not embarrassed to that. I don't like slave masters. And if you've got a job, you'll have a slave master.
I enjoy life. I enjoy life struggling not having a job. If it comes to it, then so be it, you know.
Well, no, there's work and a job. That's how I look at it.
It's become part of me now.
A job ain't work anymore, but you've got a master, son.
Yeah.
Work's different. But then I've got a strange way of looking at words, as you know.
You know, it's like when you get that job, you still got all that stress. Then when you don't have the job, you have the stress of not having the job. It's kind of like a trap you get stuck in, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's thrown out of the book. That's gone into the bin with a lot of words from the English dictionary. I've just stuck them in the bin. I forget about them. They're not useful for me, so they serve no purpose. To be this way.
Well, I did that with a lot of things. You know, anything that created what I term as unnatural stress, I just had to cut that out. You know.
Can you think anything?
Majority of it is
bit by bit,
self-inflicted.
I just cut it out.
Most of it is self-inflicted. You just don't realise it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I can't think of any more stressful than JOB, can you? Anyway, I woke up. Perhaps I should go back to sleep.
No worries, Andy.
So what you been? Just very briefly, I won't hang about. I do apologise, like I say again, that's 4 times. What have you been talking about?
Just syncretism, languages, English language.
English language.
Yeah.
It's got a lot to answer for, hasn't it?
Or angle, if you want to call it angle.
Oh, well, yeah, angles, the angels. Oh, angles,
yeah.
Angels? Yeah, East Anglia. They settled across from Germanic tribe, from across the channel, one of the Germanic tribes that settled there. But they did, some South Saxons, where I am, they were Germanic as well. But they were cut off by the Weald forest in those days. And they were the last part of England to get the Christianity tab, because it was cut off by this great forest called the Weald, or Andrew's Weald. But anyway, that's a bit of useless information for you, PJ.
Well, Santos was saying earlier that the English language is actually a lot older than what's speculated.
Well, I guess it's retained a lot of its language throughout right through Celtic, right the way through, hasn't it? I mean, there are words. Some people say there are words from all the different periods, all accumulated in it's a bit of everything, isn't it? So I'd like to believe, I guess.
This is the right the one. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Yep.
Hello?
You're slightly broken on my side, Santos, but I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, really? Ah. No, I was just saying. There's when people say that English is borrowed from everywhere, the French, the Normans, the Anglo-Saxons, the Greeks, the Romans, the Celts, and everything. That's only half true. We've been fed a big lie. It's easy to say that the English language was influenced by these others, and it was. There's no doubt about that, but not as much as what they say, because English is connected to all of those languages because they are cousins. They're sisters. Italian is a sister of English. They are not related. But they have all of history. It's never changed. There's only the one universal language, the language of art. And all of them are simply just different colours and shades, the one language. But all languages are related. You'll find that Chinese is related to English equally as much as Italian. It's just that people aren't bringing it out yet. They're not seeing it yet. But they're all related. All of them. There's nothing unrelated to any of the languages.
But it's also, what you're saying, and that also true with, if you look at martial arts, I've studied quite a bit in that and the many forms, and you'll see that a lot of the styles of, how they, certain movements or certain things that they knew were, it's very universal, where you can actually see that certain, if you look at Kung Fu or, from the Philippines and all that area, you'll see that was like a melting pot of martial arts, so you can see how everything's kind of interconnected, and you see like the style is originated from one style that just, went to the next, and then when you come full circle around, you see like its original form is like, oh, there you go, yeah, like now I can see how a lot of these things are interconnected, right? So, because, you look at martial arts, it's another form of expression, to physical expression, to you knowing your body, knowing how it moves, and certain effects it has on certain other people, on yourself. And so you see all the certain things come together, and it's like it has to come from somewhere, right? So
The common denominator.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. That's funny that I would have never thought English would have been so, kind of like you say, the original language. I always thought it was like an evolution where it's like, hey, it became the perfect language or something, but it's, I guess, again, coming full circle on itself. Yeah.
So how many alphabets and numbers are there originally? Is it 22 or is it 26?
I would say...
Yeah, 26 is good, but according to the Bock Saga, the root language has 29. So there are 3 vowels, but they're quite similar to the vowels that we produce in the English language anyway. English covers all the sound because, we have, for instance, our letter A has 8 different pronunciations according to Webster's dictionary, right? The letter I think, has 6. The letter O has 4 or 5. And so, we have a peculiar sound in English, the sound, her. The Japanese can't say that. Italians don't have We also have at, the hat. That's another set pronunciation for the letter A, but a lot of languages don't have at. At. They have no at, and they have no So we're pretty blessed, really, with all the sounds. The only thing English is lacking is the letter R has lost its vibration. They should have something that does that rolls the R, because it's one of the most powerful sounds that the human can produce.
You should come to Gatineau, Santos, because they pronounce their R's pretty pronounced here. You'd be amazed how they speak their French. Yeah. It's now that you say that.
What's the business with the letter Y originally, or apparently originally meant to have been a vowel? Is there anything in that?
It is a vowel. It is absolutely a vowel. It's
it's not taught in the education system over here, though. Currently.
No, I know, but that's what the tricks. That's sort of lies. How can you not? It's got to be a vowel. In every other language, it's a vowel. It's called the Greek I. There's the other I and the Greek I, and that's the letter Y. You see,
yeah.
It does not make y does not make any guttural or labial sounds or anything at all. It's just breathed. So it's a vowel. It is a vowel. It has to be. So this is how they trick us, brother.
Yeah, it's changing the psyche of people's thinking.
Yep.
Well, you guys want to hear something interesting? That from the alphabet of 26 letters, or just the number 26, is you look at the Star of David.
Yeah.
So we have YHVH, which is Yahweh. I don't know if you guys probably know this. It's so you have there's 2.6 billion possibilities of putting the numbers 1 to 26 on each, angles or whatever on the Star of David, or 1 to 13 or something like that. And out of the 2.6 billion, there's only one possibility where if you add up all the numbers, at each point, ends up being 26 all over. So it's showing that, mathematically, when you look at the Star of David and you talk about, we're talking about words and so on, and then the alphabet, having 26 letters, kind of tells you quite a bit, right? It kind of helps.
When you talk about numbers and Star of David, we get Shazia losing 3 days of his life. He starts designing charts. You see me profile image, display picture, yeah?
No, I don't see it.
Oh, do you know? Oh, no, because we've got contacts, have we? I think Santos can see it. Well, that were designed by Bock. A long story into it, anyway.
Oh, it's basically vortex math, baseline math,
okay,
applied to the Flower of Life, the Star of David.
Okay.
So I did a 3-axis, from 1 to 9. I don't know if you're familiar with Marco Rodin.
Oh.
He does, check him out sometime. He does a vortex math.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty cool. He's come up with a kind of an infinity equation.
Okay.
To give you the short story, it's basically you take 1, it's called the doubling circuit, 1 times, okay, it's come back to me now. So it's the doubling circuit, so 1 doubled is 2, 2 doubled is 4, 4 doubled is 8, 8 doubled is 16, and then you add the 1 and the 6 together, you get 7, and then you double that, you get 14, and you add the 2, you get 5, and then you double the 5, you get 10, and you get 1 out of that, so you get back to your 1.
Wow, okay, that's interesting.
So that's the only way that infinity can be explained is numerically, and this is through this vortex math, which it's pretty close to the way numerology works too. It's I think they call it casting out nines or something like that.
Tesla went into 369, so we've been looking into that and attaching it to that chart over the past couple of weeks.
The sacred geometry and all that. I'm always fascinated with that stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's, I should more listen to Nassim Nevermind, Blow Your Mind, with all that stuff is actually pretty interesting. And then Santos with he's got how he brings it all together with words and law and like how all the symbols and it's like wow.
Yeah, exactly. That's
how can you not love this stuff?
Yeah.
I'm gonna start. Me and my buddy Robbie want to start doing like flowers of light, like start drawing them and stuff, and putting them all over the house, and kind of do different designs and see if you can see like different images manifest from within the geometry, and then do drawings within that.
Yeah.
Just kind of have some fun with it, Maybe it's got some special powers, make us feel a little better.
Yeah, for sure.
It's mathematics has always been something interesting. And when you can explore with everything, and the more you sometimes you can make party tricks. When people you start doing those things, like you blow people's minds. You're like, yeah, I remember when I got my mind blown by that. That was cool. It's like, yeah, I remember that. That was fun. Yeah. So, what do you guys know about Switzerland?
Hey, old, was it home of the Swiss Army knife?
Yeah.
Oh, the Vatican Guards.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can't.
And I know it one of the safest places to live.
That's right, eh?
And the only country in the world with a direct democracy.
Well, if you want to get away from armies,
Luxembourg's
your place, I believe. They don't have an army.
I've been on this trip lately of looking up the history of Switzerland and looking up a lot of the stuff. It's actually very interesting stuff. I remember Santos once had spoken about it on a radio show, talking about the gods of Amun or the priest of Amun and all the Egyptian hieroglyphs and symbols and everything, right? And if you guys look into that country, very interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Very powerful. Like if you look at the history and what's been happening, especially with throughout the whole world. If you only knew is a lot of the influence to what's happening is Switzerland or that all NGOs in the world are based in Switzerland.
Right.
Which are non-governmental organizations.
Yeah.
All of FIFA, Olympic Committee, all of them. It's all Switzerland. And if you look at, everything that's, acts around all these things, you see a lot of the nonsense happening. And it's just funny because the more you look into all the symbology and everything, like here in Ottawa, we had a shooting. And I don't know, I'm just, I'm like that. I like to go and look and what was this? Well, why did this happen? And, there's so much conspiracy happening, behind the whole idea of why this happened and all these things, right? And you see that everything is always, related to, ISIS and Egyptian, hieroglyphs and symbols and things like that. And it's just amazing to see how everything seems to always be, pointing to the same kind of things, right? And so when you look at Switzerland, you ever notice it's right in the it's centralized right in Europe, right in the middle. And it's like the heart of pretty much the world, of pretty much everything what's happening, everything that, when you look at media, you look at all the information, the symbols, or whatever, it all seems to be that's the hub of where all that's coming from, you know what I mean?
Right. Geneva, United Nations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got NATO, it's all Switzerland, and
what about World Bank? Maybe they're...
Well, all banks are all Templars. If you see all the connections, if you look at the United States of America, for instance, did you know that the most people there are from Swiss descent? If you look at immigration and all that kind of stuff, you'll see that most Americans, more than Jews, more than Native American, English, or French, or whatever, Swiss is actually a lot of people from Switzerland. Even Barack Obama has actual Swiss descent. You look at Hoover, you look at J. Edgar Hoover, Eisenhower, all these names is all Swiss. And then also, you look into further than that, they like even trace to Belgium, which actually would actually. Oh, is someone trying to say something?
I was just going to say, did you see Obama recently do his Hawaiian wave?
No, I didn't.
Laughable.
No, I don't really listen to that guy. I can't stand him. I don't like Rockman that much. I don't hate him, but I don't like what he's doing.
I've no time for him. Yeah.
Exactly. It's kind of, those people I try to stay away from, giving them any kind of attention in any good way or bad. If you start hating them, then you're still giving them attention. You're giving them that energy that they like to feed off. So I try to steer clear from that nonsense. It's hard at times, though.
It's just like basically they're professional actors now.
Well, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. But if you look at Tessarion, he talks about like Hollywood and the cult of Dionysus and all these people and like these druids and how they used to use actors and smooth talkers to make their spells seem more, real or give more to the illusion, if you will. So, like, if you look at all the things like, Chris Angel, you look at David Blaine and all them, you think, oh, wow, how do they do that? Well, chances are the people that are seeming to be fooled are actually in on it. They're just that good at acting it out or, things. Or who knows, maybe they have holographic technology so advanced we don't even know about yet, So, but it's just funny.
I always said, with these guys who do these kind of magic tricks and stuff, I go, if they're so amazing that they can perform these tricks, how come they can't do anything, amazing for the planet or for humanity or something like that,
Yeah, exactly.
That's great, you can do this little trick, but, what else can you,
Well, they do some condition you without you knowing it. You don't realise until it's too late. That's what they're really doing, just conditioning.
Well, if you keep your mind sharp and you kind of say, hey, I'm the one that's in charge of, creating myself, you take that charge, you'll start seeing that these things, no one can manipulate you, no one can make you do or believe in certain things that, deep down in your heart are not truth and they won't help you flourish. There's, a lot of illusions, and a lot of us give a lot of credibility to certain illusions, and it's crazy how people want you to actually adopt that insanity. Hey, look, this is what I'm doing. I got success. Hey, come join my madness. When you're on the outside looking in, it's like you pretty much are outnumbered, and it seems that everyone else is doing it. Well, then it's good. Then everything's good. You don't have to change and do everything we're doing. If you're not doing what we're doing, well, you're crazy. You're the mad one. You shouldn't be trying to question everything and try to create more possibilities and all that kind of stuff. That's madness. It's crazy. It's just, I don't know. I look at this world sometimes and I'm like, I want to save it in a certain way because I love it. It's beautiful because I want to be part of it. I want to explore as much as I can. But sometimes, I look at the people and I'm like, maybe they're just, this is not their time, I guess, or they're just not going to get it. And they're here to challenge me and for me to grow and, do these things. And they're going to grow too, just maybe not on the same level that I want to, and other people that I know want to, and want to make it, more substantial, if you will. It's crazy. That's the insanity that I have to deal with my own mind, if you will. the conflict, the eternal conflict that we have.
Well, and you're right. If we're to return and go through this cycle again, this process again, then. You might want to start trying to make it a little bit easier when you do come back.
Exactly, right? You don't want to make it too challenging. Say, okay, that was tough. That I almost didn't make it that time. Let's make it the next time when I come around here. That it's not so bad. I got it.
That's if you even get on that track.
Yeah.
It's hard to get even yourself stable and focused to do anything. It takes people years to just get the slightest little, insight to it all.
Well, so the more we share our our inner selves, the more we share our possibilities and what we've created and come across, the more I find that we can, find the solutions and find more answers and, broaden our horizons in that sense. The more we, not fearing sharing ourselves with the world and who we are, and manifesting who we are and what we, or our hearts is resonating inside of us, wants to express into this world, eliminate that fear, and, I think the possibilities are going to really grow and manifest, and we'll be getting off this planet. Not that we don't love it anymore. It's just we'll be able to explore, new worlds and dimensions and other worlds. Yeah. Well, just to give me an idea, what's the average age? I'm talking.
Say again.
What's the average age? I'm 34 years old, so.
Oh, I'm 28.
28?
Yeah.
I'm 45.
45?
Yeah.
Santos, you don't want to share your age with us? Oh, Santos is not there.
Can you hear me?
Oh.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm 51.
51. There you go.
52 this March. Aries, just after the equinox, 24th.
That's right.
I turned 28 on winter solstice.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
My niece, that's her birthday as well.
Alright.
That's close of a... And who else didn't share their birthday there?
And Andy, you were born, is it 58, 59? So...
I was going to say, I'm...
You were born 1959, I think, Andy.
I've always been confused with my horoscope and stuff, so I never even looked at it before. Because I'm a Aries Taurus. I was born on the cusp, April 20th.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm Sagittarius, Capricorn.
Oh.
I'm Pisces Aries, March 16th. That's fun. It's fun astrology. Actual theology.
What's the correct scope to follow, Santos? Like, how if I look at my scope in the Eastern, I think I fall under Aries. And if I look under the Western, I fall under Taurus. So I've always been confused about this.
Same here.
Stick with the Western. Stick with the tropical system. All I teach is the ancient universal tropical system. In the East, there's only two systems, really. There's the tropical system, which goes off of the equinoxes and solstices. So Aries will always be beginning on March the 21st, because the equinox is always there. So you just follow the ecliptic, and the tropical points. It's all about the ecliptic and the tropical points. Everything is. See, the Jyotish astrologers, the Hindu guys, what they're doing is they're following the slippage of precession. Now, that slippage of precession uses the stars as a backdrop. That's why they call it sidereal. It's not tropical, it's sidereal. It's star-based. So you've got tropical-based or ecliptic-based, Western, and you've got star sidereal, Eastern. And I don't voice much opinion about the two systems because they should be able to be syncretized. There's got to be some validity in the Eastern system, but definitely the Western system is 100% valid and accurate, and you don't need the Eastern system. If you want to, you can go ahead and study it. A lot of astrologers specialize in the two. They do readings in both. But why? Why do you need to when the Western system is 100% accurate? It's based on the ecliptic. It's tropical, so it can't go wrong. Everything is based on the ecliptic. So Western astrology is. So it's interesting that the Western astrologers did not follow the very, very famous and very, very, very well-respected Indian astrologers. None of the countries of the West did that. Neither did the Arabs, who were very good astrologers. They stuck with the ecliptic.
I see. That's good to know. Thanks.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Just wanted to get us
So
going.
it doesn't matter.
My friend Robbie is here. He's just listening in on you there. So good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, Robbie.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, man. You had the Chinese, the Chinese calendar's interesting as well.
It is.
With the animals, especially.
Yeah, it's interesting because their 12 animals also overlap on ours perfectly well. I've syncretized them in my syncretism graphic. I've got the Chinese and the Western system perfectly syncretized. And but what's interesting is they don't really follow a monthly. It doesn't appear that they follow a monthly system like we do. All of theirs is yearly. So right now we're in the new year. We're actually in the year of Capricorn because it's the year of the lamb. Last year was the year of the horse in Chinese, and now it's the year of the sheep. And the sheep actually, in my syncretism, corresponds with Capricorn. Those two animals are interchangeable. Whereas the horse of Chinese corresponds with the horse of Sagittarius. So last year was Sagittarius year. This year now is Capricorn. So their system is yearly, and I would love to have more time to understand the ins and outs of the Chinese system to work out how we can help them with our system, because they are going to be missing a lot of the stuff that only Western astrology can do. Only Western astrology can do the really complicated calculations and things. Really, it's the best. It's the best out there. It comes from Egypt and Chaldea.
I see.
But it's very ancient. Babylonian and Egyptian and Grecian and Roman. It's all Western.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we're on the right path then. We're good.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, stick with tropical.
Alright. Well, I was actually watching a while back there about when you talk about the ecliptic, and I was like, wow, like how you were bringing this. That's pretty interesting stuff, because like you see it everywhere, but you don't really you don't pay attention to it, I guess. But yeah, it's always been like that. It's always about that kind of cycle in anything. The sunrise, how you feel, your internal clock, everything. It's all, your heartbeat. Like it's all it's all interconnected.
Yeah.
And then people kind of laugh at people when they say, "Oh, you believe in astrology or astral theology, and you think that it has an effect on you." Well, it does. It's like we're a product of our environment, and our environment is a product of us. Kind of interchange is like.
Yeah. Well, the great astrologer knows that planets are not just located in an isolated field. Mars is everywhere. Mars is in fruit, vegetables, human beings. Our liver is, our gallbladder is ruled by Mars. The blood is ruled by Mars. Mars is in us. So if Mars is weak in our astrological chart, well, all of the organs related to Mars will be weak. And the same with vegetables. Sometimes the gardens grow strong, and sometimes, some years, they grow weak. It's all planetary. It's all planetary electricity. That's all it is. So the people who deny this, they're denying 100% validity of reality. Reality is all electrical, and the planets are electrical, and they are, governing our electrical bodies. So they're disconnected. These people are disconnected. You can only just feel sorry for them. You could just, be amazed that they're so stupid and ignorant, and that you feel privileged, feel lucky that you can grasp the higher sciences with your intuition.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they're very, very handicapped.
Well, the best thing you can do is just live by example. Hey, when people see that you're, something is working, and you see, hey, you know what, then they'll give you the credibility or not, but for the most part, that's all you can do. Just live the example and try to shine it as much as you can, as reach far and wide to try to get more people to see these things. So because you want to help them. The intention of the video is you want to help your brothers and sisters, because you would want someone that knew this and that you didn't know to want to share it with you, right? So you kind of just give it that, just pay it forward in that sense, right?
Yeah. And if not, I want the next meet, or the one after, to know as well.
I didn't catch what you said there. Say that again.
I was just saying, if it's not for anybody else or yourself, then at least do it for the next you.
That's right. That's right.
Wherever that may be, or whatever it may be.
Yep. All those. It's like a kind of continuous ride all the time. I don't know if you want to say something, Rob?
Well, I was just going to comment and say that in regards to people that may be disconnected from the essence of the universe and how everything is connected, I say often when I discuss with Charles how it seems like that's the whole agenda of the 1% or the people who are controlling everything. The propaganda all seems to be with the intention of disconnecting us from ourselves, disconnecting us from each other, and disconnecting ourselves from nature, Earth, which is all through groceries, through food, through medicine, through everything. So they're trying to disconnect people. They have been trying to disconnect people, and it's working. And so when you find people where you can talk with about this stuff, it's definitely encouraging. You get a lot of people that don't, and sometimes you're wondering, where's the progress coming now? How are you going to get on the right path, the right movement, or the right energy? Because you want to, sharing is good, talking is good, but it seems that, maybe in my world it only goes so far, or only reaches. You only do so much. So yeah, obviously you can always work on yourself and at least make yourself as good as you can be.
It's just knowing, I guess, using different approaches, trying, and that's it.
Because there's forces that are pushing to disconnect us. That's like it's so we have to push back,
Yeah. Do you guys feel that too, or how do you feel? Do you feel that there's actually some kind of force, actually like malevolent, or I don't know, whatever you can think of? Do you think that there's actually that intent behind it?
Oh yeah, there are for sure. Yeah, it's the state, it's the bar, it's the all the levels of so-called government. This and the God that they've created. It's actually God. That's what the problem is. Monotheism, theocracy, theos. Our problem is the God, the false God. Because everything's based on God. You go to church, it's God. You go defend your nation and country. Your God and country. Politics is also all about God, because they are acting as gods, and so people have an erroneous idea of God. They think God exists separate from them, and it's autocratic and hierarchical. Whereas that's the theist God. The deist God, on the other hand, they are more philosophical. They understand that God is energy, love, light. We are God. These people are reasonable. These people are knowers. The theists are thinkers. They think they know God. They're believers. We know. The deist knows. The theist believes. So they're the ones that have got monotheism and theocracy. And theos basically means the one, and it's their one, the one that they created. They're not talking about the God that we know as the supreme magnetic conscious being of the universe. When they talk about God, they're talking about their God. So when you believe that you have a God and a country, then they can give you all of their services, privileges and benefits, which they do. Throw you in jail and prosecute you, etc., etc., because we believe in their God and their country. Countries don't exist, they're on paper. Their God does not exist because, how can you create a God? I mean, God is just there, it's consciousness. The universe is intelligent, therefore we acknowledge that, and therefore we acknowledge and call that God. And we say it's intelligent, it's there, it exists, we're part of it, that's God. But these groups, the controllers, they've created God.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on multiverses, Santos?
I think there's only one universe but many dimensions. I wouldn't call it a multiverse. I think that's that might be erroneous.
Meaning having different versions of one universe, you mean?
Yeah, like multiverses would be a universe here that we're in, and then we travel to another universe and another one. I don't believe it's one. It's a universe. It's one. Everything is a oneness, but there are dimensions. Yeah, there's many dimensions and worlds. Okay. There's many worlds. There's many realities in this universe. There's spiritual dimensions of all kinds. All the planes and dimensions of this beautiful universe.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry, I'm just gonna move this around. It's I want to ask you, Santos, because always fascinated with the way you think and when you were, actually, I got to share some. I knew someone that was a Jehovah's Witness when I did some time in prison 10 years ago, I'd say. And he was talking about the whole idea of, Christianity, God, and all these kinds of things. And it was just amazing when you talk about when you were part of the Jehovah's Witnesses and you're talking about all these things and how you, this is really interesting stuff. I really try and believe in this stuff, to share with others. What is it within the whole idea of it that kind of, opened up your eyes or about, how you saw that, I'm not part of the right thing, this is not the truth, this is not really what it's all about? When did that happen?
Well, if you're intelligent, their teaching will eventually just wear you down. It just happened over time. Because of my own intelligence and wanting to know the truth and paying attention, I just saw through them. Only the more intelligent, evolved ones can see through them. They are only capable of keeping lower-minded ones that are here, from awake. They can't stop the intelligent ones.
Was Charles Taze Russell a Freemason, Santos?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's true. Charles Taze Russell. He's the one that, and then, it was actually not Jehovah's Witness at the time. Someone else that came after that changed it to Jehovah's Witness, right? Is that correct?
Well, yeah. Well, Rutherford was a Jesuit. He assassinated him on the eve of Halloween, when everyone else gets assassinated, 31st of October, 1916, right in the middle of the Third War. And so Judge Rutherford comes in, he's a Jesuit, he capitalised the whole thing. But that's not to say that Russell was all bad. I think Russell was a very, very intelligent and good man.
Yeah, that's what I think he just got hijacked like everything else.
Yeah, he what happens is when guys like that pop their head up and start teaching new and radical things, the Jesuits are aware. They know they know who everybody and what everybody does. So they're very quick to let the organisation grow a few tentacles, and then they move in. They infiltrate everything. And so Russell was poisoned. He was killed at a young age, and the Catholics took over, and they've been there since. But Russell was teaching about a lot of things. He was teaching about the Platonic Great Year. He was teaching, Egyptian wisdom. He was teaching about the pyramids and how important they are, and he was right on the money. He was right on the money. He was probably a very, very good man, but definitely he was a Knights Templar. You know, he used the crown and the cross on the Watchtower magazine for years.
Is that right, eh? Like, so, what's Charles Taze Russell's descendants? Where was he from?
Oh, the Russells, Germanic, Russell, and it's a big family. Like, you've got Bertrand Russell, you've got the Russell Trust, which is basically the Pirates of America. You know, Blood and Skull and Bones. That's the Russell Family Trust. You've got people like Bertrand Russell come from the same stock. There's another Russell, Walter Russell, probably, you know, the great scientist who we all love, Russellian science. They come from the same stock. Not all bad, you know. There's good and bad in every elite family, even with the Rothschilds. You know, they're not all, you know, hell bent on destroying the world. They're rich, you know, and I guess they're just caught along with it as well as everyone else. But I would say worse than families like the Russells and the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers would be their corporations. It's the corporations that they've created that are the real killers.
Yeah.
That's how they'll get us. They can't get us any other way. There's no other way. They've got to join us into their dead corpse. Their dead bodies. They make corporate, you know, body corporates. They make dead entities and then give power to those entities. You know, they breathe life into them. And they breathe life into them, and they suck the life out of us through the corpse, the de facto corporate government that's overtaken the world. You see, the de jure government is we to live it. We just got to work that out and restore that. But already we have the foundations being laid. We've already got good government, and that is we determine, we make the laws, and that we want to subject ourselves to. See, so if we have a parliament, we can pass some good laws through, and we can all consent to living under that. If you don't consent, well, you don't have to. You see, that's the difference between the government that is now and the government that we established. We established a fair government based on equality and rule of law. And everything's based on law, and the law is do no harm. That's the law. Do unto others as you wish them to do to you. No codes, no statutes, unless a dead corporation wants those particular codes and rules for their employees. I'm not an employee. I'm not an employee of the country. I'm not an employee of the government.
Yeah, did they tie the Ten Commandments and put it into one? The first one, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Santos, you know when you look at the commandments, so you're talking about that, originally it was 613, right? Is that correct? 613?
Yep.
Okay. I want to share this with you because Ottawa's got quite a bit of symbology here and a lot of that stuff. Our area code here is 613 in Ottawa. And in 2001, if you look at our Ottawa logo, it's actually 360s. It's all hidden within it. Ottawa, if you look at strategically how it is, there's a lot of, like, I don't know, like, I'd have to send you some pictures and things of, like, the symbols that you see here, and because a lot of things you share and whatever, like, with numbers and things like that, I see a lot of it here. So I don't know what you can tell me about that, because, you know, 613, which is the original commandment, 613, and which is from the Kabbalah, right?
Yep.
Okay. So if you look at the Peace Tower in Ottawa, or not Parliament, we were talking about Parliament earlier, is there's a Star of David right on there, and so also you have ISIS in front of the Supreme Court, which is actually right within where the Parliament is. So I don't know what you can tell me about that. If there's any, like if there.
Well, I wouldn't attribute any malice to it. I mean, symbols give your corporation power. They give you power.
Mhm.
You know, so I can't see the music being anything else, and they've got no reason to. Symbols are the best thing for a corporate logo that you can possibly have. It tells a lot about your corporation. So I wouldn't ascribe any ill motive to it, but just that there is good and there is evil everywhere. You know, and even with those government buildings and the people who control them, they're not just all out for the bad. They suffer from greed as we do, and because they're in the position of power, it's easy to take a bribe. It's easy to go the easy path and do the wrong thing. But the symbols have no evil or malice in them at all. Only if they are used incorrectly, like a knife. You know?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
knife can be used for great harm.
That's right. Like it's like a hammer. You can build a house with it, or you can smash someone's head open, right? So
the understanding.
Yeah, I think a lot of that symbolism they themselves are not aware of what it actually means anymore. And I think its origins are all tied with this higher knowledge of knowing, the flower of life and the stuff Santos talks about, the sine wave. And you can see that there is a natural universal knowledge, and it is, it's all connected.
Well, I feel that certain people in governments or architects or whatever it be, like you look at the architecture, there's got to be some people that they know some we don't. They're pretty advanced. They kept certain bloods and families kind of tight knit of who they interact with and who they who their offsprings or whatever. And behind the scenes, I know not everyone in the government and stuff are bad. I'm sure some people are getting in the government with the good intention of saying, hey, I want to change things, and then they get caught doing something bad. People got pictures, they start threatening them or saying, well, do what we tell you, or it could be those kinds of things. It could be other people that are just plain ignorant, right? But overall, I think there's some kind of intelligence really that's really well calculated, that knows things and able to know how our minds will work in the masses and how it actually affects it on the way down, like a pyramid, if you will. That they know that this is the effect that we're going to get, or close to what we want. You know what I mean? I strongly not maybe believe that's what it is, but I'm open to the possibility of that kind of high intelligence behind it, so well calculated.
Right.
I'm just gonna get my.
I think they might. I don't think they tell you what to think. They tell you what to think about, and they leave you with that. And then they use other tactics like these conditioning and propaganda and whatever else they've got out there. I mean, there's that many of them, you can't even count them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what they do. Then they attack you with all them, so you can't work out which one is your actual enemy. You've got no idea.
Exactly, it's true. They make you want to make you paranoid in a sense. No, I don't think it's not something. Yeah,
It's like the caduceus. You see it on every ambulance and hospital, and it's supposed to be the symbol of the tree of life. But as you guys are probably aware of, our hospitals are, not too good in that.
No, not. It's true. Well, it's funny because when I went to the hospital to see my grandma, you can see the Swiss cross right there, in the Civic Hospital, right in Ottawa. And I was just telling my mom, it's funny, you look at, here in Ottawa, they show the Swiss cross, which is, the Red Cross or whatever, right? So all the symbols, it's are they really here to help people or really keep them as a client or keep them suffering? Because my grandma, she's not, she's 86 years old, broke her hip, a lot of bad things. She's not really enjoying life right now, and they got her all on these machines to keep her alive. And she keeps talking about I want to go, I want to, but they keep keeping her alive. Which I wonder, why are they doing that? Like, what's the purpose of making a person continuously suffer when they want to go? You know, like, I don't get it.
It's the only way they know.
Yeah, because the only way they know and make money from the suffering of people and the death of people. Some hospitals actually make sure that patients do not come out alive, and there are certain designated people in there that know, how much money the patient has, what sort of insurance covers, and everything like that, and how much they can, take from the death, because there's money in death, of course. I hope you know that.
Thank you very much for that, Santos. That answers something an experience that happened to me. So, yeah. Let
me tell you, they will, if they want your money, they will kill you in hospital. They will do it. There's certain designated Jersey nurses and ones who have been recruited, and they do the killing, and they get a lot of money from it. And I know this firsthand. I've been told this firsthand by people.
Well, I don't know the chances on a chest specialist failing to spot a collapsed lung.
What was that?
I said I had an experience where I had a chest specialist who failed to spot a collapsed lung.
Is that right? Wow.
Discharged me with cuts and bruises.
Wow. And were you able to were you showing symptoms that you're actually had a collapsed lung, or you were able to breathe perfectly? Or?
Well, you can live with one lung, obviously, but during the moment of the trauma, it's like you've been winded. It feels like you've got half a house brick that's frozen solid, just sitting at the bottom of your chest. That's what it feels like. That's the pain. And they left me all night. Discharged me all night, and the next day they did some tracing up, trying to get hold of me, making out like they didn't spot it, and they've looked at it again, and they said it's pretty urgent that I went back down to hospital, and then I went undergo that pneumothorax procedure. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
No.
Well, that's the procedure they do to reinflate the lung, because they have to get all the air out of the chest cavity before the lung can inflate again.
Okay.
So it's basically a tube what they put under your armpit, and then you attach it to some little device thing what they've got, and it takes time. It can take weeks to do it, but eventually, normally, most cases, it heals itself.
Okay.
But you won't do it unless you get rid of that air.
Wow.
Pressure. And you have to undergo that there and then. Just a little bit of, anaesthetic, and then that's it. You cut a big hole under your armpit, feed this 14-inch tube in. all because the chest specialist failed to diagnose a collapsed lung on an X-ray.
You think you did on purpose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Santos was saying. Just was what Santos was saying.
Yeah, it's that's crazy. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's you say yourself, you give your credibility to these people that are supposed to, have your well-being, at the top of their priority. It's not. But the reality is that's not what it is. And it's funny because when you talk with your people you care about, and you try to explain, well, the doctor's not always right, but they'll argue to the death that no, and they'll, they don't realize they're slowly being killed by their own doctor sometimes.
Do you know what's funny about it, if you can use the word funny, is they make you feel like places like in China, like their health and their, medicines and things are not as what, that they always like to make out we're best at everything, do you know what I mean? So, but what's funny about it is the fact that the Chinese doctors will take responsibility, but over here they don't take responsibility in England. You won't find a doctor that will take full responsibility. He always gets you to consent.
Yeah, that's right. It's like
but in China, they'll take risks. You know what I mean? They'll gamble on stuff.
Yeah,
and they'll be responsible for it.
Yeah, they're held accountable. They have that in the back, so therefore they keep their ethics.
Yeah.
Place, right? You want to look up to your brothers, not trying to...
If you run somebody over and that person survives, but said paralysed, you've got to make sure you look after that person for the rest of their life.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to over there.
Oh, yeah, it's wow.
Oh, in China?
In China.
That's how it works?
Yeah, that's why. Not when they run somebody over, they stick it in reverse to make sure the person dies, so they don't have to pay for the rest of their life.
Ooh, that's not good.
That's what people do over in China, because the psyche teaches them to do things like that. All because of money. Yeah. Piece of wood.
So then people must be afraid to go to the doctor. We go to the doctor say, well, you're sick, we have to operate.
Yeah, that's good.
I wonder what the ratio is. How many people go in on and come out alive?
Yeah, probably not a lot. It's just big, like Santos said, man, it's all corporations trying to get us to be corpses and gather as many, and it's like the army of the dead or something. I don't know. It's like zombies everywhere. It's like it's like to the stories and movies and whatever, you can actually see within it our own kind of madness in our world. There's a lot of little here's and there taken from different stories put together. Make fairy tales. Yeah, that's
people think China's catched up, for what they've undergone over decades and that. Like they've sort of like catched up pace, but it's far from it. It's just an illusion what they put out there.
Yeah, of course.
They're no different from anybody else. Do you know what I mean? Depends what circumstances you've got at the time. But they're all suffering over there just like everywhere else.
Oh, it's like a different, just a different suffering or a different way of doing it, but it's all the same. It's like, I look at Canada, we like to think that we're pretty good, Canada, we've been about peace and things, but a lot of people don't realize we have our own war within our border here with the native people, the First Nations, and people don't see it as a war, but you can actually clearly see it's maybe not been fought with guns or it's fought with famine, not providing the right health care, keeping them segregated, always giving the bad outlook on them, and it's crazy to see how we're not that different throughout the whole world. Look at Israel with Palestine. Well, they have it more on the broad scale of, it's very violent, it's more very pronounced as compared to here. It looks hush-hush, it's done financially, these kinds of things. So it doesn't look as bad or as atrocious, but it's actually worse,
They get you wanting to, just abandon the physical. That's the way they attack you these days. They don't even have to use guns and bombs anymore. It's just, I think the biggest rise in suicides and that's the so-called official, statistics, but it's a lot higher than that.
Yeah,
as we know, and I think that's at minute is the biggest killer.
Well, it's a bit strange how the natives were, supposedly here for 10,000 years, and before the Europeans came here, they were doing fine, and something like really dramatically happened to them where their elders were knocked off or something. Like they must have lost some knowledge or something to be disoriented the way they are today, because they by all rights they should be able to be fully sustaining themselves just off nature and the land, to go back to their old ways. But I guess the lure of Western society kind of broke their culture down. But I think that they're gaining a lot of it back now. They're learning their own original language and ways and stuff, and they're leaving like the churches and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like there's a big movement here in Canada. It's called Idle No More, and it's all the First Nations getting together and just making some noise. Getting people aware, get people on board to see what's really happening, and how our governments are dismantling this country and selling us off to foreign interests like corporations and banks and all these big conglomerates, right? And so they're actually like, you know, a lot of people are looking at them like the enemy or like they're bad. And they, you know, you hear a lot of people here will talk in a bad sense, even the police. But if you really stop and look, they're actually the only ones here in our country that are making a stand, making a lot of noise as compared to the average, you know, white Canadian that drinks hockey and watches beer. You know, he's not contributing, he's just paying his taxes, paying his mortgage, thinking that he's doing the right thing. But in reality, they're just fueling more and more perpetual debt, more war, more famines, more negative energy.
Iceland did well. I think Iceland did the part.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they set example.
Well, there's Iceland and what's the other one? Denmark too, I think, or is it Denmark or another country there that they held their bankers accountable and their ministers and all that. Or I guess it is Iceland. It's just Iceland. I thought it was Denmark, but as well. But yeah, well, that's what we need to do. Like I think everyone throughout the whole world, if we kind of got together and said, okay, let's stop giving them, you know. Let's stop with this illusion of money and perpetual debt, and let's start, you know, working towards substantial, real things of, you know, making our own food and being self-sustainable and independent and sovereign in the sense that, you know, we are actually harmonizing our environment the way we know now because we have all the knowledge. But it seems that some people want to keep us down.
Yeah, exactly. It's all through knowledge. That's all you need.
Oh, that's it.
Or the correct understanding of knowledge, I should say.
Yeah, well,
yeah, it's interesting. Have you seen what they've done in India? They've gone to a part of India now and tried to bring them some electric. So what they've done is they've took these televisions and batteries and stuff and got on watching Disney films. All kids, they grouped them all up in a little place, and they've never seen tellies before. So first thing they've ever seen is a Walter Disney film. So now. It's beautiful, and all land over there is lovely. It's hard to find a place like that. But soon that'll all be gone. All mining companies have gone over there. They're going to wreck it. It's not good. 10 years, it's going to be, you know, moonscape, I think.
Well, it's in that part of the world, like you see a lot of people being mistreated for sure because. I don't know, you look at it like China, India, very overpopulated areas, they seem to get the worst of it, it seems.
Well, this is just like an indigenous tribe in India. And the elders, all the elders have to come to an agreement in order for this contract to go ahead. Now, I'm not too sure exactly who's involved in it, but I'm pretty sure it's got something to do with West. But anyway, yeah, that's what they've got to do. So that was the way of encouraging them to do it, well, by using the kids and getting them to sit and watch Walter Disney films.
And it's always through the children, it seems. They always like, and it's funny like how they do that. It's like they're weak. It's sacred. They shouldn't do that. You know, when you mess with children, there, it's.
They banned GMOs though.
They what?
They banned GMOs.
In India they were.
Yeah. Well, after like thousands of farmers committed suicide.
Oh yeah, that's bad. Unsatan. What?
A bunch of farmers committed suicide.
Thousands of them. Yeah, it never hit mainstream media. They didn't want the story to get out. But
wow.
It got so bad that the government had no choice but to say, yeah, we're going to ban GMOs. Because those farmers took it personally that, you know, now they found out that they might possibly, you know, kill millions or make millions of people sick. It was against their religion and their conscience, and they couldn't take it.
Wow, eh?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's like it's all these little examples of how they get us to, you know, it's like about the law and everything, get us, you know, to kind of consent to an idea and go along with it, thinking, okay, and then we find out afterwards that holy shit, like we're actually, you know, we're guilty now. We're part of something really bad, and now it's like some people can't take it. So we're like, yeah, it's like a war. It's like making us go to war with ourselves. And they just look at us and they smile like, yeah, see them? Oh yeah, see, we got them to do all that all by themselves. I didn't have to really do anything. I just said a few words here and there, and they went along with it. And oh man. That's crazy. That's just. I'm realizing a lot of things as I'm talking to you guys, which is great. It's a mad world we live in.
Yeah.
You guys, want to like work towards being self-sustainable, like eco villages, or kind of work towards having little communities? You guys, any of you guys plan on doing any of that?
I'm doing what I can here at the moment. Just I've been working on trying to grow my own food in the garden here. So I'm trying this method I caught onto lately, where they talk about the mulching method.
Okay.
Yeah, what you do is you put layers of compost on top of each other. It's called the no-dig method. You never disturb the soil.
Is that?
Yeah, it's the exact opposite of what you've been taught. You'll never need a shovel. All you need is a rake. You can maintain your entire property with a rake. And all you need is mulching, and after a few years, all that mulch will break down and it'll turn into the best soil. There's a documentary, it's called Back to Eden Garden. I believe that's what it's called. Yeah, watch that documentary, because he gives you all the information you need.
How's it called again?
It's called Back to Eden Garden, I believe.
Paul Gotchka, his name, I think.
Yeah, Paul Gautsky.
Oh, something like that. Gotchki or Gaut. Yeah, however it is.
The original guy is a Japanese guy, I forget his name. And he's the one who came up with this no-dig mulching method. And they observed nature. They went into the forest, and he discovered that his well wasn't working, and where he lived he didn't get enough rainwater. And he goes, well, how am I going to live over? How am I going to sustain myself? And he got thinking, and he looks across the fields, and he sees like a big forest over there, and it's just like beautiful and green and healthy, and he's like, I don't get it. It only rains 14 inches a year. How's that forest thriving over there? And he went in there and he realized it was a self-sustained ecosystem. For thousands of years, man hasn't disturbed it or bothered it yet, and it's in perfect harmony, and it creates its own compost. You never need to water it.
Wow.
It's another amazing thing. Yeah, it's water retentive. It stores water and it takes it when it needs it, type thing. Yeah, it's really cool and very less labor intensive.
Yeah, I guess
It's funny. He actually quotes the Bible, and he says that the Lord said, "My yoke is easy," and he said, "My yoke is easy." He says, "Yeah, like farming and stuff. It's not supposed to be backbreaking work.
Right.
If you get in rhythm with nature, it's actually very pleasant and it's easy work."
Yeah.
I'm going to share that with my cousin, because he has a property just outside of town here. Beautiful property, and he's actually going towards. He's got a geothermal system that goes into the lake and actually produces all his energy. Doesn't pay nothing, and so he's looking towards making all like a self-sustainable way of life.
Yeah, cool.
So I'm going to share that with him for sure.
Oh, for sure.
He's gonna. He talks about gardening being. He's like, yeah, it's a good idea, but it's backbreaking, like you said. And it's like, well, here's a new method. Yeah, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, no worries. You can also YouTube that. He's got other versions on YouTube as well.
Yeah, I got the videos here.
When you shared that with me, Shaz,
actually, can you guys see the text in here? Because I can punch in his name.
Yeah.
Well, I got Back to Eden. There's an official website.
I think that's his name. Yeah, and
I'll find you a link. Hold on.
Okay, yeah. Great.
Or you just bring it to your eye, watching that.
Because eventually, I'd like to make like an eco village.
Yeah, we call that Vical.
Say again, Santos?
Oh, sorry guys, I think I've got some delay. I was saying we call that permaculture here, permaculture.
Yes, exactly. Sustainable permaculture, yeah.
Build Bill Mollison here down in Tasmania, he went around the world in the 70s trying to sell it to governments, to save the world. And he's got all villages. I was staying at a village last week next door to the largest permaculture village in the Southern Hemisphere. And staying with friends who have permaculture. It's the best way. What you do is you just lay paper on your garden, cardboard or paper you can do it with. And then you put mulch on top of that, and then that retains the water, it keeps the earthworms coming up, it keeps the ground rich and tender, and you're not scraping it, and it's not getting depleted from the sun belting down on the microorganisms in the soil. It's all covered. So it's the best way, it's nature's way.
Yeah.
No compound harvester needed.
Yeah.
No plow.
And there's other amazing benefits your pests are down to a minimum because nature will not send these pests to an area where it's a thriving ecosystem. You follow what I'm saying? So you're not going to be having to deal with too many pests, and so it's a win-win situation. You put minerals back in your soil. It's like investing in your soil. It gets better and better, and you got no pests, no fungicide problems. The microbiology is all balanced and everything. The pH is balanced. Everything seems to just work itself out perfectly.
Well, I guess, nature's got it right. I mean, when you look at the way the cycle goes, you see all the leaves fall to the ground, and when it stays there, then it nourishes the ground during the winter and all that kind of stuff, and then it keeps flourishing, keeps pretty much helping each other out, like the thorax, right? Like, you look at the energy, it's always going back on itself. It's always recycling the energy, and so essentially, that makes sense. I think I'd seen something on the radio show one time where this guy was talking about a method, and I think it sounds similar to that, and he was talking about how he cured himself from diabetes because of the fact that he was replenishing the earth with the minerals that it needed and things like that. So
he probably got off white refined sugar for one.
That's one way to go for sure. Any of you guys vegan or vegetarian or?
Yeah, I'm almost there. I'm leaning that towards that way. I eat meat once in a while. Yeah.
I became vegetarian this summer.
Yeah, cool.
And I got my buddy Robbie on board with us there.
Yeah.
I eat a lot of hemp. That's what I eat. Hemp is the magic food for me. Is that stuff. You got all your omega-3s and 6 and proteins and essential amino acids, and you got your iron. You got it repairs damaged DNA. Hemp is the magic food that I eat. I eat it every day as much as I can. Well, things I haven't been eating as much, but
I've gotten myself off grains and stuff like that. I don't drink milk. I don't do dairy products. I don't eat grains. And I found a flour that I can make bread from, and I'm really enjoying it. And I've been telling everyone about it. I use buckwheat flour.
Buckwheat flour, eh?
Yeah. It's like a dark rye kind of texture and color.
Okay.
And it's delicious, man. You just make flatbread at home in minutes.
Really? Flatbread, eh? So, okay. What kind of taste does it have? Is it...
It's like old-fashioned bread. It's not like this fluffy kind of, floured up, enriched bread. It's heavy bread. It's kind of heavy.
Okay. Yeah, because I love bread, and I know it's not really good for us.
Check out the just the benefits of buckwheat. It's pretty cool. It's actually got antioxidants as well.
Oh, really? So,
yeah.
So that's good. Sure. I'm gonna start. We want to start becoming more, making our own food and things like that. Keep telling Robbie that's.
You can never go back. Well, once you start cooking for yourself, you'll never. Even if I'm starving, I have a hard time buying anything. Yeah. I'll go hungry before.
You're right, because you're actually better off dealing with, the symptoms of, feeling hungry than going with the symptoms of eating the bad stuff after. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I look at it. Yeah. Well, I was watching a documentary about, many documentaries about parasites and how when you eat a lot of meat, like people, tend to have these parasites, and I was like, fuck, it's bad. And it actually messes with your mood. And
Have you heard of Dr. Tent?
I was just going to mention it.
Oh man, this guy is hardcore, man. Go check him out. He's a holistic doctor type, Dr. Tent, on YouTube, and he's got a famous lecture on what is it, the immune epidemic or something?
The epidemic, the autoimmune epidemic.
The autoimmune epidemic. Yeah.
It's not viruses.
He talks about everything, about all the vaccinations and everything.
Dr. Tent, like T-E-N-T?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to check them out for sure. Like, I love this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm an information junkie.
He'll tell you, you'll think twice before walking into a hospital.
Oh, I already do, but yeah, I'm sure you'll... yeah, it's always got like a new replay in the hospital. But, I guess he talks a bit about the parasites and like foods and vaccines.
He caught me onto a cool trick where if you eat a raw clove of garlic on the night of a full moon, it kills all the parasites as they hatch.
Okay, is that right?
Yeah, in your gut flora and all that. Yeah, the garlic will kill all the newly hatched, the laid eggs or something like that, the new hatchlings.
Okay, well, I'm going to check that out for sure. I'm getting the creep right now, but I'm actually feeling kind of hopeful.
I tell you, and the first time I did it, there was no side effects, nothing. I didn't get any funny burps. I didn't have any funny, bathroom issues or anything. It was, you don't even know it. You don't feel it. Nothing. Yeah, you just swallow the whole clove whole.
Well, you just swallow it. You don't crunch it. Nothing. You just
chop it up into like as big as a piece as you can swallow comfortably, and just swallow it.
Like a pill. Huh.
Yeah, like a pill. Exactly. Nature's pill.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's so.
There's a little core inside the garlic as well. Now, there's something about that.
There's what?
The heart. It's got a green heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm going to try that. I am definitely going to try that. Because I know they get ginger and there's a lot of these plants that we overlook. Even like dandelions and all that stuff. Like I know they have all these healing properties inside of them, and there's so much to explore, right? Like with plant life and what it's all about. And the more you go into that, I guess it gives you more of an insight of our cycle of our health and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, it's crazy, man. And there's so much out there now, and the more you look into it, the more you realize like it's more powerful than anything man can ever come up with.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Like, nature is what is it like the shamans and the tribes and the ancient people that they always prayed and praised the plant life, the plant world, because you get all the answers to heal and knowledge and knowing about the history of how life works and its functionalities, right? Yeah. So it's I mean, like you hear about ayahuasca.
Yeah.
See all that, like these things. It's all methods that we use to heal ourselves in a natural way. We don't have to think it's that complicated, or like a lot of people like to think is, I just want the pill. I just want the easy way to go about things when I get sick. Because life is too fast. I don't have time to really take care of my health, which is actually you should be taking care of your health. It should be priority, folks. It's crazy like how the solutions are always simple. Really, they're always very simple.
Indigestion, acid reflux, or whatever you want to call it. Citrus does that.
Citrus, like anything that.
Yeah.
Acidic.
Yes. Yeah. Well, my cure to that is I use apple cider vinegar. Gets rid of that in no time. Like 5 minutes later, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's better than proton pump inhibitors, what they've been passing out.
What'd you say?
Proton pump inhibitors, they've called them.
Proton pump. Proton pump.
Pump. P-U-M-P, pump.
Oh, okay.
Basically, what they do is they do the complete opposite to what they're supposed to do, or what they tell you they're supposed to do. And they put you in a condition where it's irreversible. So instead of taking them PPIs, eat an apple, at least.
Oh, so I guess we're losing Santos. All right, Santos. It was nice talking with you, bro. So, how did you get to connect with Santos, and how did you guys get to?
I think PJ found him on through one of the websites or somewhere. Is that right, PJ?
Where did I originally come across Santos?
No, where did you find him?
To talk to today?
Yeah.
Through Skype.
Through Skype you found him. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You had heard of Santos before, or?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I always keep up with his stuff and that. Probably about a year now, at least, yeah. Best part of a year.
Okay, so you've been, that's good. Yeah, he's very insightful. He's got a lot of information that's pretty interesting, and it's good for our spiritual growth and knowing quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah.
He's, but the character, I like the way he says things sometimes. A lot of people can't handle it.
I remember the first time I listened to him, I think it was a couple of years ago, and it just went right over my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I knew it was really cool and everything, but I didn't absorb anything because I wasn't ready for that kind of information. I needed to go to 101. You know, Santos is like 109. So, but then like, yeah, you know, then afterwards I listened to it again and I was like, hey, this is really cool. This is really deep. You know?
Oh yeah, he's. I listen to him quite a bit. Sometimes when I was like really feeling low, just put him on. You know, listen to like 2-3 hours of just what he's talking about and just kind of let it sink in a bit. You know, because like you said, he is quite intense. You know, if you're not really up to par, then a lot of things goes over your head. So you have to kind of, you know, rewind or replay it again and just kind of let it go again. And be like, oh yeah, now I get what he's saying. Okay, yeah.
It's that higher vibration, you know.
No, exactly right. I mean, it's like when you set your intention forth within yourself, like I was saying, wow, like this, yeah, this actually resonates a bit with me. Okay, let's go here. Let's go explore it. So you tend to kind of set yourself to that frequency, so therefore you can kind of absorb it, right? So that's what I've learned about learning. Yeah, set your intention forth.
Right.
What do you want to learn?
Yeah.
If you don't know what you want to learn, then it's kind of hard to learn. Yeah. So you, Pete, you're from England, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Southern parts of England. And so, have you ever?
I'm from Yorkshire.
Yorkshire or Yorkshire?
Yeah, it's either or either. It's only a word.
Yeah. So, have you ever travelled outside of England, or?
I've been to Bavaria.
Bavaria, okay. Where
Yeah,
the Illuminati was founded?
Say again?
Where the Illuminati was founded?
I was gonna say you went to Moloch's playground.
Oh, I've been in the king's castles and everything, in his secret bedroom room. What he hides out in, or used to hide out in.
Nice.
Yeah.
You can explore a bit of Europe. That's like, I want to go myself actually, because my father, my dad, he's got dual citizenship, so I guess I get to benefit from that. But yeah, it'd be nice to go visit England, Ireland, Scotland, all of Europe. It's got so much architecture that I want to check out.
Yeah, start with Bavaria, Austria, any of them. It's hard to tell them apart, to be honest.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You guys ever hear of a guy named Sean Ross?
I can't put a face to the name.
No.
Dr. Sean Ross. Okay. If you want to really go on a bit of a journey, or like a kind of like, it's just this guy walking through Europe, Switzerland, France, like all these different places, and he just kind of shows all the architecture and all the symbols and of Europe, and you know how like who's involved and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And he's just on this journey, and he's sharing about like the pharaohs, how these pharaohs never died, or they're actually among us, and all this kind of stuff. I strongly suggest you guys check this guy out. If you like, European architecture and knowing a bit about history about Europe and things like that, this guy, check him out. Look up the Pharaoh Show on YouTube.
The Pharaoh Show?
Yeah, Pharaoh Show.
All right, cool. Are you familiar with anything about from Ralph Ellis?
Nope. Ralph Ellis. So
I'm glad you reminded me about him, because I did actually start looking into his stuff, and I got sidetracked on stuff.
He kind of found out who all these like biblical characters really were, and he found them all, and they're all in Egypt.
Really?
Moses, all those guys. Yeah, they were Egyptian. There was no real Israel back then.
Well, yeah, because Israel is not necessarily a place, or it's like, what is it? Israel is essentially ISIS, Ra, and El.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
It's
yeah.
That's what it is.
And that came out of Egypt as well.
Yeah. Well, so I'm going to check this guy out for sure. You guys check out Sean Ross. I'm in touch with this guy.
Yeah, I'm doing it now, Sean Ross.
And if you subscribe to this one, it's Chastafrast, which is German, Swiss German, Chastafrast. And Gyuri, I don't speak very much German, so I have to look at the names again. Okay, so by Gyuri, which is Giureh, and his other one is. Anyways, if you just put in the Pharaoh Show, you'll see Octagon. Talks about the Order of the Octagon. It shows where.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay. You know that the CERN in Switzerland is shaped in an octagon, eh?
Yeah.
And so this guy Sean pieces everything together, how everything relates to Switzerland.
There's another guy.
To find that video.
What's that?
I'm struggling to find it.
Oh, where are you? You're in England, eh? That's right. So you may have a problem. Because he's censored. This guy, they take down his video all the time. Like, he's onto something.
There's another guy I follow, and he talks about that whole CERN project being a Stargate.
Yeah.
Is he albino?
No, he's actually he's from South Africa, but he's got sunglasses on. He's got a big beard, and kind of like thick, rounded a bit, and he kind of looks like one of the guys, the missing members of ZZ Top. But he's just, how can I? Maybe because I know he censored this guy, man, big time. Like, his child went missing for like 13 years. His child's gone. Like, he hasn't seen his kid, and he's really exposing quite a bit about Switzerland and how they are really involved in a lot of conflict in the world, and they act like they're actually, neutral, and they wouldn't do anything like that, but people don't really realize that the Swiss bankers are the ones that actually type in the evil Swiss deception. Type that in.
Hidden evil Swiss deception, yeah?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. The top.
Yeah, I've got his channel. Yeah, cool.
Okay, so all the videos there, check this all out. Okay, he's going to talk to you about the obelisks, how they're everywhere, how certain people like General Custer, he's actually Swiss descent, and if you look at his burial ground, it's actually an obelisk right over it. Only the pharaohs get obelisks, he says. So, and he shows all this evidence about how, the assassination of JFK is the Swiss octagon. All military and police in the world are from Swiss octagon And anyways, he's going to bring you guys on the journey. It's actually very interesting. I suggest you give him some consideration because I feel he's onto things. I'm actually in contact with him right now. I've been emailing him because of my uncle being he's actually in Switzerland doing business. And so he's kind of explaining to me a bit about who my uncle's dealing with.
Yeah, cool. It's always good to get more info.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Like I said, it's always consideration purposes, right? I mean, but he's interesting. Like the way he talks, like his accent, and he speaks French, English, and Swiss German. So he kind of goes and explains all the Egyptian words and why it's called the aristocracy and the Aryan bloodline. You know, why they went from being the pharaohs to the aristocracy to the Freemasons and the symbols they sport. It's like, it's all them. It's all Swiss. Yeah. Swissy. He calls them Swissies. It's funny.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a pyramid there somewhere. Like, as you know, they found those pyramids in Bosnia and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, he shows actually, if you go to Nice, France, there's a pyramid there that's buried. He actually shows the footage. He's actually right on the pyramid because it's buried under, over time, you know?
Mm.
And then Holland, if you go to Holland, there's actually a pyramid that was built by Napoleon for Napoleon.
Oh.
Because Napoleon's actually a pharaoh, the descendant of the pharaoh. That's what he says. He says it's like the bloodline.
Right.
And he shows like how, you know, Napoleon wears an octagon, the noble blood sash of blue and red, or red and blue. And anyways, he shows all these symbols, how it's like, it's always there. Like, you know, why, if they're not friends or if they're enemies, why would they be wearing the same symbols? You know, like, it doesn't make any sense, right? So, anyways, he's explaining all these things, and it's actually very interesting. This guy's like, he says, I am Bond, vagabond, because he just, you know, walks through Europe with his backpack like a vagabond, and he just kind of explains all of that. It's quite entertaining. I actually, with the resources I'm going to have, I want to make a story or a movie about him, because it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, I talk about him a lot because I don't know, man. He's just blown my.
Thanks for that. I'm looking forward to that. I'll give that a watch first thing. I'll not start it now because it's nearly 5 o'clock.
Hey, yeah, it's pretty late for you guys in England. It's like morning.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go.
No worries.
But
alright, no worries. Yeah, man.
You guys are actually
So you're on YouTube, Charles?
Yeah, actually, if you want to see some of my videos, it's Charles316. But instead of an L in my name, it's a 1.
Okay.
So, yeah, I put up a lot of rants and put up music and things like that. You know, I just like to express myself, share myself with the world and how I feel, and reach out to all my brothers and sisters, the ones that are on the same path, that, you know, want to seek truth and enlighten themselves, and, you know, seek justice and truth and knowledge and all that beautiful stuff.
Yeah,
all right.
Oh, shit.
We just call him Bock.
Bock.
He's more commonly known on this group on Skype as Bock.
I know, it was too much, man. As soon as Santos came in talking, he started talking about that Bock Saga, and I'm like, get out of here, Bock. That's yeah, it's part of my name.
That's awesome. Well, Santos was sharing that you guys want to possibly invest with Santos and help him out with getting Syncretism out there. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Wherever it is room, we'll definitely support.
Yeah.
Right, I don't.
Well, that's good. Yeah. Well, we gotta get together, band together, brothers. We're trying to change this world in a good way. Trying to make it beautiful and get people to know what's really going on.
Right.
Yeah, Santos is one of the great ones. He's like him and Jordan Maxwell.
Right.
But I feel a new sort of war coming on soon, and it's going to be against this what they call New Age.
Yeah, well, you're talking about the New Age the ones that are kind of say, oh, don't give it much attention, or is that what you mean? Like the Mark Basile there, New Age bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, it's I don't know. Like if you look at the religions in the world right now, if they only knew the truth about what they've been fed and lied to about, I think that's going to be the climactic part that's going to make tip the scales in a way, Because I don't know. You guys ever listen to Bill Donahue?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
He blows my mind what he knows about the Bible, and it's it's all that gathering of information. Santos, Bill, you got Jordan Maxwell, Michael Cesarian. You got all these great people out there, just all their independent research that they've really gathered and putting it out there and seeing that you you can actually see there's a commonality.
Yeah.
You were saying earlier, the common denominator.
Yeah.
It's all there.
Yep. I've always been a big fan of ancient history too, so all these guys were really important for me to put parts of the pieces of the puzzle together.
Yeah.
Like you just mentioned, Bill Donahue. He was great because he does all the Greek stuff for you.
Mm-hmm.
So he could translate all the Greek characters and the biblical characters for you, and so that kind of sets the stage for that part of our history.
Well, his presentation, how he puts it across, is unique.
Well, the way he talks, he's got this. Well, I don't know why people think this way. It's just it's fake, He's got this voice that you just it's comedic. The part where he says, imagine if God is gay and all these people, they're going around hating gay people and homosexuals, and they get to the pearly gates and they see God comes like, hello, welcome to paradise. Just like, it's just so entertaining to listen to that you get captivated.
He gets you thinking, which is what we need, more people like him with enthusiasm and a bit of character to it. Because you got to have a laugh with this sort of stuff from time to time. Do you know what I mean? I know it's serious stuff we're getting involved in and that, and it's of great importance, but you've still got to have a sense of humour.
Oh, absolutely. You got to learn to laugh at yourself and be laugh at yourself for being fooled sometimes. Fuck that. I was stupid there. Oh, okay. Let's keep going, I guess. I'll know next time. Some things are more serious than others, like you say, but I mean, for the most part, you got to make light of yourself, because otherwise, you don't grow. You just don't grow. You get stuck in that, that plateau, if you will.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Yep. Well, it's one of the greats I read a lot is Bruce Lee. And if you really listen to his philosophies and things, he was quite onto a lot of things. Very, very.
There's actually quite a bit of conspiracy revolving around him.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he was. It's speculated that he was, offed, and same with his kid, the guy Brandon Lee, and he played that. His last movie was the Crow.
Well, it's kind of ironic, eh?
Yeah. Same with this recent guy, the Keith Ledger guy who played the Joker or something like that, and now he's gone, or apparently he committed suicide or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, the character of the Keith Joker. Ledger. If you guys, I'm going to share something really. I'm a fan of the Joker character.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of research into the whole idea, where it comes from, and so on, right?
Well, it's actually got a big tarot connection too.
Oh yeah, it's the Fool.
It's the Fool, yeah.
It's the Fool's journey, and so the Jester or the Joker, either one is essentially what the Joker and the Jester and whatever the Fool is. It's essentially the product of society.
Yeah, right.
That's showing its true colors, and how it's dealing with the madness and laughing about it.
Right.
And trying to burn those illusions away. And laughing it off and just making it, make society kind of crumble on itself, but making it fun and entertaining in the sense that now it's going to really see the whole madness behind itself, behind the mask, you know.
Yeah.
So if you look at Heath Ledger, why people, believe he killed himself is that he really wanted to understand the Joker to such depths that he actually did probably the correct research into it and got himself lost so much in that character that the madness probably killed him, or they suicided, one or the other.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because he was after that movie, during the movie, he was like, people were saying that he was talking. They were saying that he was crazy. He's like, they were saying, oh, he's always in his character and he's really believing what he's putting out there. Which, if you really look into the conspiracy world, into the internet, and learning about our history and things, it could drive you crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
It can. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like when you first start to discover more and more truth. Like you go from just you go through those phases where first you go through anger, then you'll go through maybe kind of a depression stage.
Yeah, the 5 stages.
Yeah, and you'll finally you come over it, and you're content with it. Hey, at least I know what I know now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You actually got the relief. You're like, oh yeah.
It's being able to handle it that matters.
Well, yeah. Well, it's like when you're
certain situations, you're not going to be able to prevent yourself from becoming depressed. But if you can handle it or find coping mechanisms, then you've got a better chance.
Well, depression is natural too. It's a natural part of it, right? Like you need to depress, because you have pressure. That's why it's called depression as well. Like you have so much pressure built up from everything that you gathered, and so you're like, okay, well, like now I have too much, and I don't know what to do. It's too much information happening. I don't know where to go, where to start. So I got to depress from this, and so we kind of let it all kind of deflate out, and then. While you're depressing, you're kind of going through it again, right? And you're whatever you gathered, you've seen it on the intake, but now you're seeing it on the outtake, on the externalization of okay, well I put it through myself, now I'll let it out, and then boom,
Yeah, it's overload, isn't it? It's like lagging in a computer.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's a natural, indicator of like when you're out of balance. And so it'll take you through that process in order to kind of like when you scrape yourself and it forms a scab before it heals, right?
That's right.
So,
and you always want to scratch at it.
Yeah. And the depression is that scab.
Yeah, that's true. It's a beautiful thing. Like you look at it. Some days if you don't look at it that way, when you're in that state of mind, you're like, "Fuck, this sucks. This is horrible." But like you say, once you go through it, you're like, "Wow, it's beautiful. It's beautiful." In order for anything, like a child, when the mother, she has a child inside of her and nourishes it, and the kids get, it's comfortable, right? You got all the food, doesn't have to go nowhere to get up to feed itself. It's warm all the time. You got everything he needs, and all of a sudden, boom, he's born, and now it's cold. He's like bright, and everything's just like chaotic now. It's like, what the fuck is going on? I was comfortable. I had everything I need. Now everything's been taken away from me. And now the kid's freaking out, and now he's not happy, and so all of a sudden the mother shows up, and then the baby starts, oh, okay, it's not so bad. I remember this, warmth, and food, yeah. So certain familiar things come back, but not in its, true form of what you were used to, but so you go and, you always have to go through a crisis. That's what it is. You have to fight it. You have to, be challenged in that sense.
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's beautiful. You guys love your mothers? You guys are pretty close?
Actually, I live with my mother.
There you go. Yeah. Good. What about you, PJ?
Yeah, still see my mother. I'm still blessed to be able to see her every day.
Good. That's good, guys. Like, that's one of my biggest strengths is, having a good relationship with my mom, and I was raised with her. Just, she took care of me all by herself pretty much, and so good for you guys if you guys have that close relationship. Not a lot of men have it nowadays, I find. It's unfortunate. Keep you in touch with your feminine side.
Right. Keep it balanced.
Oh, exactly, right?
They're intuitive.
I find it quite hard to fall out with people, to be honest. It's usually, other way around. It's usually people not being able to get along with me.
Yeah, right, eh? Well, why is that?
I don't know, just the way I'm only one in my family who, thinks the way I do and get involved in stuff that I do. They can't make, heads to tail any sense in it, so I don't know what their look on me is, whether I'm some sort of, I don't know, lost part of the family or whatever, but yeah, it's all good anyway. I've still got, still on talking terms and that, it's all good.
Oh, I think we all have our paths to walk in the sense that, a lot of times we'll be looked at as being weird or, I don't know, hard to talk to, or I don't know. I have the same experience with some of my friends, my family, and I'll tell you something. The more you look at it and you say, hey, you know what, I'm actually gaining knowledge. I'm actually working towards knowing myself and finding the truth about what's going on. I'm not the weird one. I'm not the one that's got a problem. It's the ones that are actually, out there just buying into the hype and wanting to be part of certain organizations or certain groups that, are not really substantial. Those are the people that, I have a hard time dealing with. Like, so you look at it in the sense is that not really that you're the one that's hard to get along with, is that they're the one that's possibly harder to get along with. You know what I mean?
Well, as I said, I'm willing to get along with anyone. I don't judge anyone, so I struggle to understand why people fall out with me.
Well, we get along very good, my friend, so that's, you'll see that a lot of good people out there that are along the same lines as you, you're going to harmonize. You're going to see them and say, oh, yeah, fine. These are the people I want to be around. And no, these other people, whatever, man. Just don't expose yourself to them. Don't try to, some people, you want to share whatever things that you're passionate about, but they're just really not interested because they're not even there yet. And so why waste your time? Why waste your breath, right? They want to keep sharing hockey games. Almost like, oh, fuck, you guys talk to yourself there, that's fun.
It takes a while to work that out, and during that time, a lot can happen.
Well, and that's why I'm sharing that with you, is that, you said you were 28?
Yeah, 28.
And how long have, been on this path, you would say, PJ?
As long as I can remember. I've always had a feeling, where I've got into, being able to research the right sort of material, I'd probably say since I were 15, I'm 28 now, so, no, 15-year-old, since I was 15-year-old, where I really concentrated and, got out of that illusion whether it's something wrong with me or something wrong with them.
Well, something wrong with all of us.
Yeah, well, obviously, we've all got the same problems, even, don't matter what you know, you've still got the same problems to battle, yeah. Each day that comes, you've still got to defend your right to stay.
Express yourself. Share your truth.
Yeah.
It's challenging. Some days I have days I'm like, oh my god, I just want to crawl under and go in my room and be excluded from the world and just say, okay, fuck this. But then other days I come out, I'm like, here I am, and I'm more enthusiastic. I'm more out there, and it's just your up and downs. Fuck it, man. It's like whatever. It is what it is, man. You're gonna deal with certain people that you're gonna harmonize one day, and other people you're just not gonna fucking feel it. It's just gonna be bad. It's gonna be, and you'll be like, oh, like these people, I hate them. You're gonna go all through these emotions of hatred and whatever, and then you go through and you're like, I don't really hate these people. It's yeah.
Yeah, if I'm having one of those days, I just know it now, and I'll just be like, that's it. I'm not going out today.
There you go.
Yeah.
The EGS, the Emotional Guidance System. Yeah, that's what we call it. Yeah.
Well, having emotional intelligence is important for sure. You want to,
I think it's part of law of attraction, though. I think that's where it comes from. Law of attraction.
It's probably related to the cosmic influence.
Of course, it's like
star sign and all that.
Yeah, like if you put your mind out there, like with your thoughts. Like a lot of days, what I do is just project and talk what my intentions are. Say, hey, universe, God, life. You know what I'm talking about. I love you. I want you to know I really appreciate everything that's happening. It's fun. I really like this feelings, and sex is awesome, and all these things. And then I'm like, just going off on this rant, right? With myself, like there's no one else in the house. I'm just talking to me, and the universe, and life, and just showing I appreciate it. And I notice when I do that, then I tend to have all these people come, certain people you cross and talk with, and you end up they say, hey, these are actually along the same lines of how I think and feel and so on. So that's great. As compared to if you voice negativity and all that bad stuff. Well, then
that's your real voice. What you just described. Instead of going around screaming, protesting, just complaining, moaning, however you want to put it, just sit in a dark room or whatever, and just talk freely like you've just done.
Yeah, exactly.
It has more of an effect than it would if you went protesting.
That's right. Like you say, the laws of attraction is like you're sending the vibrations and intention behind your vibes that you're putting out there, and the universe. Life, God hears you quite clear and says, hey, all right, no problem. And you got to manifest it too, right? You got to put not only the thinking and the talking, whatever, but you also have to put that, put it into action too, right? Kind of manifest things, through either music or writing things down or making documentaries or, building little things or painting or whatever, right? It's just putting it in, manifesting it into the shared reality.
Yeah. Stimulating chemicals in the brain and knowing how to do it safely.
Yeah, exactly.
Like melatonin and all the other ones, and dopamine.
Yeah, dopamine, serotonin, all that stuff.
And they say your sense of smell releases the same dopamine as laughter does.
Oh, is that right, eh?
Yeah.
Huh.
Like being happy, laughing.
Well, I like to laugh a lot, so yeah, I'm gonna.
Your sense of smell stimulates the same sort of way as when it happens when you laugh.
Even if you just force yourself to smile.
Well, we all laugh, don't we? There's no.
Yeah.
Well, if we're all able to laugh, then we all laugh. There's no difference to it. We might speak differently and live differently, but we all laugh and we all smile.
Yeah.
Listen, guy, I really gotta let you go because my buddy.
All right, no worries, Charles.
Yeah, no worries.
I could go on like this forever, though. I like
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got you on the friends list now, so cool, man. We'll talk again.
For sure, right, guys?
Yeah.
Well, I'm always on Skype and I'm on Facetune as well, so I don't know if you guys want to add me on Facetune either. It's Charles Jesterman, Denomme. But
Cool. Yeah, feel free to join channel on here whenever you see it live, and then there's always someone talking during the day.
all right, I will for sure, man.
If you ever fancy a chat, yeah, no worries. All right, Charles.
All right, guys. Have a good morning, PJ, and have a good night, Chaz.
Yeah. Thanks, Charles. You too.
All right,
You too, man.
Yep.
cheers.
Bye.
Good talking.
Yes.